remember that child, remember the innocence and the wonder, and try to reconnect with that, because it is hard. Like I said, you get to adulthood and everything you're expected to do is supposed to be responsible. But also for me, as a woman, reconnecting with that younger self of mine and the things that I liked to paint, and I would like to get back into that at some point in my life, because I know that's my true inner self. That is my true imagination. That's how I was able to connect to my imagination. So maybe engaging in some of those activities can bring and conjure up the imaginative energy and help me to create more and to share more with the world. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. How's everyone doing? I hope you're doing okay. I hope that you've had a great day. So let's get into today's topic. I don't know what I'm gonna title it, but I do have notes, as always, that I am referring to throughout the video. Do you remember when we were children and kids, and just like every little thing was exciting for some reason? At least my experience was everything was exciting. And it's like I was truly awe-inspired by everything. Why did we change? What happened along the way? Well, we grew up, we had responsibilities, we became adults, and with adulthood comes, you know, the loss of some sort of innocence in a way, because you now know that, you know consciously that there are things to be taken care of, and without facilitating things so that you can live life, you will simply perish. That's just how adulting works. And so just that is why we lose our innocence, right? Essentially, that is why we lose that innocence and that like childlike wonder. I'm trying to keep this lighthearted so that I don't like make this too serious. You know, I want it to be lighthearted. I want it to just be a reminder. I don't want you guys to leave this video feeling heavy. I want you to leave feeling inspired and just more aware. So yeah, we once were these fun little butterflies and full of like essentially love and open and receptive. And then somewhere along the way we lost that. So I want to talk about imagination. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because I feel that I'm gonna take this watch off. I'll be right back. It's bothering me. I got makeup on it. I'm so sorry. I'll be back. So, okay, I feel that that is a component of childhood that a lot of us shared and we had, right? You know, your imaginary friend. I had one. I think her or their name was Blue. I don't even know why I chose that name. It was my imaginary friend. I had, at the time, it was just me and my older brother before my sister came along, like 10 years later. So yeah, most of the time, he didn't really want to hang out with me. I mean, he wanted to play video games, and I wanted to play Barbies, and I didn't have anybody to play Barbies with. So I remember I made a friend named Blue, and in my head, I just literally, you could not tell me Blue was not real. There was no arguing with me, right? And I created that world of essentially delusion, but it was happy for me as a kid in that time, right? So that is imagination. And when I think about that, I want you guys to consider as an adult now, present time, like using that, again, connecting with that childlike wonder again, because that's what I want to do and have been doing. I am in my 20s, right? So a lot to unpack here. But at this point in time, I want to connect with my imagination again, because I see the beauty in that. I see the beauty in that. I see how powerful it can be to connect to that again. And so let me actually get into the notes so that this video is not a bajillion minutes long. So basically, why do you have a motor that sounds like that? Man, I have a serious question. Why do y'all get cars and put in the exhaust sounds like that? What is exciting? But anyways, I'm not ranting. I respect it. So imagination essentially equates to things. Why? I'm not a scientist, okay? Just done some research and watched some videos like you. But what you can think about in your head, you can have. So I want you to imagine a scenario, any scenario of you getting what you want. Let's see, let's say you are thinking you want to, it would be nice to have a blue mug. I don't know, a blue mug. Let's redo that. Let's say that you would really want a new pair of pants. And in your head, you're thinking about those new pair of pants, what they're gonna look like, how happy you're gonna feel with those new pair of pants, and what you're gonna do and places you'll go with those new pair of pants, okay? Okay? Now, like, feel the emotion. That is imagination. And it turns into material things because I can't conceptualize this in a way that makes sense because I'm not a scientist and I'm not like a psychologist or anything like that. I'm simply learning. But basically, you think about that and eventually, like a week later, you're shopping, looking for something else, and then you see those pair of pants in your size too. I know this is a silly example, but you can play around with this, right? Basically, I don't want to forget about the power of having fun and imagining things, because you truthfully are attracting that. And yes, if you know me, you know I am a little woo-woo. I like spirituality. You know, I am like that. I've been like that. So I'm a firm believer in what you think will attract. And what is thinking? Imagination. It hasn't even happened yet. It hasn't even happened yet. And as a kid, we had that. It was easily accessed because there was no rational mind telling us, like, come on, imaginary friends aren't real. Like, no one was going to crush our dreams. No one was going to tell us that Santa didn't exist, right? If you still believe in him as an adult, I'm not judging. Do your thing. But literally, like, I just think it's really interesting how imagination works, and I want to play around with it more because it really has opened my mind to a lot, that topic of it. Let's see. But all creation essentially starts with a thought, right? Just think about that. So if you're thinking negative things, you might just attract some negative stuff. And I'm not saying that all negative things that happens is necessarily at your fault. It's not. What I'm saying is just we should be mindful, right? Because even the Bible says life and death exist within the power of the tongue. This is real life, you guys. And that is why I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just saying that imagination is beautiful and you shouldn't shy away from it because the world is calling it delulu or delusions. That's fine. They called Albert Einstein delusional. They called Martin Luther King delusional. They called plenty of great figures in history delusional, and guess what? Their delulus came to I hope this video makes a little bit of sense because it's kind of all over the place, but basically what I'm saying is imagination is the key. It really is. Like, I can't say that enough. And if you're a sciencey person, just think about how everything is made of matter, but like literally before this shirt existed that I'm wearing, somebody had to think about that and imagine like, ooh, I want to make a shirt that looks like that, and I want to have this on it. They thought it first before it even like became a thing. That's crazy, right? That's crazy, but it's sometimes the things that are like far out can seem crazy like that, but it's real life, like it's true. You had to think about it before it became true. Like Steve Jobs, he thought about the iPhone, he made it into reality with his imagination. He connected to the childlike wonder again. And that is, you could even call it magical, fine. If you want to throw the word magic out there, you could call it magical, but it's really just science, okay? It's really just science. It's just the way that things work. And so imagination is visualization. So if you can sit still and think about something really hard, ideas might flow to you. You might be able to solve a problem. Like I don't like to, when I'm in a disagreement with somebody, I rather not talk because I know my mouth. I know I might say something that I don't necessarily mean at that moment. So instead, I go into my imaginative mind, you know, for a moment, and then when I've calmed down and the answer comes to me of like, okay, this is what you should say, this is how you should say it, then I'm ready to talk to you, because otherwise we're not gonna get anywhere, okay? You can use your imagination to do that. It's a beautiful thing. I used my imagination to create this video. Like I thought, hey, I want to create a video about this topic to help people because I have notes on it and I want to share what I'm learning with you guys, and hopefully it resonates with one person. If not, at least the message is out there for somebody to receive if they needed to hear it today. The reason why this angle is like this is because I am standing up. I love standing up to film. I'll sit occasionally, but I sit all day for work. So I prefer standing up. So that's why you can see it looks like I'm standing, because I actually am. But yeah, don't be afraid to connect to your childlike wonder again. Don't let the world harden your mind, because at a certain point, I think it's like 25, I don't know, maybe 30s, the mind crystallizes, like it's crystallized intelligence or something like that. And that is a good place to be, but also like think of all the things you can accomplish if you're younger before that time, so that stores in your brain and you're not so rational. I don't know, just remember that child, remember the innocence and the wonder, and try to reconnect with that, because it is hard. Like I said, you get to adulthood and everything you're expected to do is supposed to be responsible. But also for me, as a woman, reconnecting with that younger self of mine and the things that I liked to paint, and I would like to get back into that at some point in my life, because I know that's my true inner self, that is my true imagination, that's how I was able to connect to my imagination. So maybe engaging in some of those activities can bring and conjure up the imaginative energy and help me to create more and to share more with the world. Wow, I really hope this makes sense, because I'm really on a woo-woo trip right now. And if you're watching this and you are following, that is amazing. I love you. But I think I'm gonna wrap it up here, because there is a lot to be said on this topic and I could go on. And if you would like a part 2 of what exactly you need to do, and just how far you can go with the imagination, please like this, because I have more notes. I just didn't want to delve so deeply because it is kind of like a heavy topic, but I feel like this channel is perfect for that, because it is what I stand for. It's what I do at the end of the day. That's why I make the videos. So yes, if you want to see a part 2, me explaining more, just give it a like and I will get that out to you guys. But enough of that. Connect to your imagination again. Okay? I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.